Holy smokes, yes, some breaking news. This morning, all hell broke loose when House Oversight Committee confirmed that President Biden was not running the show. Look at this. They say that his aides covered it up. They say that aides didn't even know who the heck was operating the auto pen, which makes me wonder, naturally, if they don't know, who the heck does? And because of that, the House Oversight Committee now calls the president's executive actions illegitimate. And yes, before you ask, that does mean, and that does include his pardons, which were signed by the White House staff using the auto pen. They now consider them null and void. And we absolutely have to talk about it. So welcome back to the Adam C. Moreno Show. Please like, subscribe, turn on the bell, and let's jump right in. Now, I am going to play a video that the House committee shared that paints a very dark but very real picture of President Biden's White House. But first, here are some key findings from the Oversight Committee's new report. It claims that you can go ahead and pause if you want to read everything yourself. But it claims that President Biden's team knew that he was declining mentally and physically for years, but instead of being transparent about it with American people, they built a wall around him, almost quite literally. They say that senior officials controlled every moment, no unscripted events, no long appearances, and allegedly, even Hollywood stepped in to try to help President Biden look stronger. The committee chairman, Comer, is also recommending that the District of Columbia Board of Medicine is reviewing the actions of Dr. O'Connor, the White House physician to President Biden, for any wrongdoing. And the president's aides, Mike Donilon, Jazz Zients, and Anita Dunn, apparently all had political, financial incentives to keep the illusion alive, to withhold the secrecy, to lie to people like me and you, to gaslight the entire American public over the concerns. It is ridiculous. Now, we've been talking about this for a while, from seeing White House officials like David Sachs confirm that Elizabeth Warren was in charge of the auto pen. Look at this.
From the Democrats. This is the financial system of the future, Jesse, and we have to encourage it. What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the auto pen during that administration.
All of that, including Mike Johnson saying that President Biden wasn't running the country.
Economy, national security. It occurred to me, Barry, he was not lying to me. He genuinely did not know what he had signed. And I walked out of that meeting with fear and loathing because I thought, we're in serious trouble. Who is running the country? Like, I don't know who put the paper in front of him, but he didn't know. All right. So
that led to this moment right here, when the House Oversight Committee has now deemed all of President Biden's executive decisions, including pardons, if they were performed by White House staff and signed by an auto pen, null and void. All of this is quite unbelievable, but it is reality, and it is now on the record. So let's go ahead and roll this video.
Was the number one issue in the campaign the president's fitness or his age? Did you ever see President Biden in a wheelchair?
I do not recall ever seeing President Biden in wheelchairs.
And new information now on the people in his inner circle and how the cover-up actually operated.
Senior aides that weren't here until just a couple months ago, the beginning of this year, manipulating an ailing president for their own gain.
How much were you paid for your role in the campaign in 2024?
Just a little short of $4 million.
I'm sorry, how much?
$4 million.
You believe that the president should stay in the race. Your own financial stake in the matter was a factor in any way, your vice president.
I don't believe it.
And when it comes to President Biden's decline, the official word from Biden world about all these news stories is that nothing has been revealed this week that shows that President Biden was anything but an effective president.
Yes, I noticed that he was aging in terms of his physical condition. I noticed that, he shuffled more.
Well, he has more stumbling over words and gaffes than he did at the beginning of the term.
His rhetorical skills were not as strong as they had been, and his speeches were less effective, I thought.
We talked about age. We knew it was an issue, and we tried to design a strategy.
We had a discussion at the senior advisor level about whether the president should have a cognitive exam.
Flashback now to the legacy media's complete denial of the president's cognitive decline.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This
version of Biden is the best Biden ever. His mental acuity is great. It's fine. It's as good as it's been over the years.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't.
He is just fine. How people interpret that is up to them.
We're watching the testimony of this woman here, Annie Tomasini. She's the former senior advisor to President Joe Biden. She was the third person set to appear before James Comer's committee. She has now taken the fifth. There is now a pattern of key Biden confidants seeking to shield themselves from criminal liability for this potential conspiracy.
Were you ever told to lie about the president's health?
The advice of counsel, I must respectfully decline to answer based upon position-based privilege and in reliance on my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Let the record reflect that Dr. O'Connor has invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Dr. O'Connor, did you ever believe the president was unfit to execute his duties as president?
And we can tell you that he will have the same answer with respect to any questions that are asked.
Did any unelected official or family member of President Joe Biden execute the duties of the presidency? Did Joe Biden, a member of his family, or anyone at the White House ever instruct you to lie regarding his health?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
And if that wasn't shocking enough, Dick Tapper claims Hunter Biden was basically acting like the chief of staff.
Hunter was driving the decision-making for the family. He was almost like a chief of staff.
Did you notice an uptick ever when Hunter Biden's around? Yes. Towards the end, I think he was living with the president.
They were lying not just to the public, they were lying to other Democrats.
Have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
Were you in favor of Hunter Biden getting a pardon?
Yes.
Did you ever ask Joe Biden if the allegations regarding his son were true?
No. Ian Sams, who was the White House spokesperson, interacted with him 2 times. 2 times.
Well, I think it's really important to take the soundbite and understand the context.
How often would you say that you interacted with the physical person?
I interacted with him pretty infrequently. I think I met with the president a handful of times during my tenure. I gotta say, that doesn't look anything like the president that I know. When I deal with him, he's sharp, he's asking tough questions. That's the President Biden that so many of us experience every single day.
You don't think it's missing some context?
I don't.
So it raises serious concerns and serious questions about who was calling shots in the White House. If the White House spokesperson is being shielded from the President of the United States, who was operating the Oval Office?
Age wasn't an issue for you or for President Biden?
Well, it was not this.
Do you think President Biden was fully in command that night during the debate?
I do believe that he was fully in command that night during the debate.
I knew it was very difficult to get past some of the visual things that were causing people concern about the presidency.
The voters' concerns about President Biden were wrong?
Yes. He often would confuse names.
Do you think it got worse as you knew it?
Yes.
Are you sure you're being honest with yourself when you say you have the mental and physical capacity to serve another 4 years? Yes, I am.
I did not have the experience that it took him longer to answer a simple question.
He could stumble. He was just talking something physically.
What did she say?
It was something that we did not coin. It was something that the media coined.
Did you or did anyone ever verify if the videos you were talking about were, in fact, fakes?
I believe so.
But there were instances where videos were circulating of President Biden appearing confused or freezing for a moment that were real, correct?
Not that I recall.
She told you this real video of Biden getting lost in an Italian field was fake. Now she's saying, yeah, my White House was broken and I'm switching parties.
And was suffering from a cold that really constrained his voice and constrained his ability to be forceful in the debate.
Do you attribute President Biden's performance that night to him being under the weather?
That's my assumption.
The ability of Medicare, for the ability for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies.
Had you ever seen him have a cold or the flu before?
Yes.
Did he ever behave the way that he did during the debate?
Not that I ever saw.
It was clear what he was trying to say,
dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
It was the people that knew he was cognitively impaired and that took over the auto pen. They stole the presidency of the United States.
Do you know the people who were actually operating the auto pen were?
I do not.
Do you know any of the actual staff who were using the auto pen?
No.
You don't know their names?
No.
Have you never seen a decision memo laying out the breakdown of when the president should hand sign a particular set of documents?
Not prior to prep.
Did he hand sign all executive orders?
He did not. He hand signed many executive orders, but he did not hand sign all executive orders.
Can you read your response?
I approve the use of the auto pen for the execution of all the following pardons. Thanks, Jay-Z.
Did you yourself write this email?
I do not believe I did.
That auto pen was used excessively, and yet no one can say for certain that Joe Biden was given the orders to use the auto pen.
We've been pretty transparent from the very beginning with providing information as it occurs throughout this process.
That we anticipated the full report was going to come out and that we didn't feel an entire interview before the Super Bowl talking about classified documents was going to help the cause too much.
I think you can question the validity and the legality of those pardons and executive orders, and that's huge.
But the president is absolutely sharp fit on top of his game.
So they're just making up lies to attack the president.
But do you think his mental acuity had declined?
This is shocking, disgraceful, and 100% unforgivable. But am I surprised? Absolutely not. Anyone who's been paying attention has seen the writing on the wall, from the horrific debate to the Oval Office behind closed doors. And right now, I'm just grateful that we might actually get some clarity and some justice for what happened, because the only people who really suffered here were the American people. We were lied to, we were manipulated, and we were gaslit. Some people think that this conversation doesn't matter, but I don't feel that way. I think the question of who is actually running this country matters. I think the American people deserve transparency. So that's how I feel, and I'll let you know your thoughts on all this. And if you made it this far, please like, subscribe, turn on the bell, and we'll see you all next time. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.